welcome back to LinkedIn Logs. This is the jobs podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Hi, welcome back. This is episode number 96. I've never said hi. I was thrown off by that. I was also in the middle of sending a message. So I do apologize. It is a bright and sun-shining Wednesday, January 7th. I did not record on the January 6th because I was celebrating. And welcome back in. Welcome to this bullshittery that I call LinkedIn Logs. And yeah, I said shit. I'm a subscriber to Peloton, and I have a lot of issues with Peloton. But it is, quite frankly, the best version of what is available when it comes to subscription fitness services. It is, quite frankly, the best. But when you have a lead, and I don't want to get into this because I could spend an entire episode talking of this show of LinkedIn of Late Night Lately and the Constitutionals talking about Peloton and my issues with Peloton. But they're so far in, like they're so far in the lead. They're too comfortable, but no one else wants to catch up with them. And I say this as somebody who goes to a gym also, and subscribes to other fitness apps, including TRX, which is I have my issues with TRX too, but TRX is great because I like TRX. Anyway, and their app it's cheap enough. And now that I have money again, I can subscribe and do suspension training and stuff like that. And then there's also Soul, which thankfully, and I'm not paying for the Soul Fitness app, SOLE. It is such a poorly designed app, and the sound is bad, the video's bad. It's not a good app. I've never tried Apple Fitness. The only way I could do it is via the Mac here, which I don't think even has Apple Fitness, or the iPad here, which I don't think I have access to Apple Fitness because I think you have to have an Apple Watch, and it's just locked away behind a walled garden, which is not fun. Anyway, I have a lot of, and then so for Peloton, they're just the instructing is so, it's just gotten so blah and passé, and while there are instructors who, I'm not saying people have given up, but I think people have gotten into a rut, and they've really, and again, this is not the podcast for this, but I think people have gotten into a rut. Instructors have gotten into a rut. And they find themselves as influencers. They believe themselves to be influencers because these people that are taking their classes have created parasocial relationships with them. So they think that they are able, the audience believes that they should take everything as sacrosanct from Peloton instructors, who are wrong a lot of the time when it comes to what to do for your body. There's not one way to do squats. If you have knee troubles, there's different squats. There's there's a multitude of factors that go into it. All that has to say is, you pay $30 for app access or $60 or however much if you have the machines, and so I think I should have as much of a say as whatever pregnant military mom has to say with anxiety, has to say about Peloton instructors. They love it. Anyway, I'm saying Peloton instructors feed into that stuff of this mental health thing where you have to be at the lowest level of your life. You have to be rock bottom and be working out. And their class is the only thing keeping you from killing yourself, which is not true. God, what I'm saying is I love Peloton. And I think in order for that company to succeed, they need to stretch out beyond the people that are subscribing and only taking a handful of classes, or maybe they're taking a lot of classes, or maybe they're taking no classes, and thinking that you have to be at the lowest point of your life in order to work out. When in reality, for me, to the very least, you just do it. Just do it. And if you don't like it, then find a different way, a different avenue, because there's so many different ways to do different things. And I work out every single day. I know that I despise lunges. I hate lunges. But you know what? I program lunges. I program different lunges. There's curtsy lunge. There's split squats. There's different things. Pulse squats. It's just whatever. I don't care. How long are we into this? 6 minutes. I could talk about Let me instruct a Peloton. Anyway, but then on the other end, this is the last thing I'll say. On the other end, there are a handful, not a lot, because of the 55 or however many there are still others who have not given up or are not stuck in this one mode of teaching where you are on the verge of suicide. There's others like Dennis Morton and DT Shaw and Christian Van Velde and or Vandevelde, I don't know what you said. Yes, Vandevelde, and Matt Wilpers and Alex Karvosky, who do an amazing job teaching. And again, this is the last thing I'll say. And the argument there could be, you don't have to take them. Yeah, but for $30 fucking a month, I'm taking every goddamn instructor there is. Because $30 is a lot. I've been getting a lot of it, and I will go on to the jobs in a second. I've been getting a lot of, I have money again, so I'm resubscribed to Disney Plus and Hulu. Hulu is I had Hulu since it was free. I've had Hulu for the longest time. I've had Hulu and Netflix since they were things. So I'm resubscribed to Hulu and Disney Plus again, and I'm keep getting the same commercials, Rocket Money commercials, these series of commercials with these hot young people talking about, I don't know how many subscriptions I have. I have like 2 subscriptions. You actually have 15 and you've been paying for them for 12 years. Who doesn't know what they're paying for? If you need Rocket Money and you're like, I lost $200 to Spotify over the course of a year? That's you. That's on your thing. You've never, like, come on. Anyway. Welcome to 2026. Here we are. What's happened? What's happened in the last couple of weeks? Well, nothing. I've been, you know what? I'll say this. At this current job, I have been working every single week, which is great. However, you don't get paid for the days that you don't work. When I was the difference between this job and Cartoon Network is there's a lot more expected of me here. But then there are very strict days and hours that you don't work. Whereas at Cartoon Network, because they're similar jobs, and that's why I'm putting them in comparison lenses. Whereas at Cartoon Network, you were contracted. I was contracted in the same way I'm contracted here. I'm pointing because my laptop for work is over there, and I have a couple of minutes until me and my manager are going to start working. And so it is early in the morning. I'll say this. I also, for the portfolio for C Plus Comedy, I set up a bunch of interviews about a month ago, and they're all happening in these 2 days, and yesterday and today. And one was yesterday at 5:30 p.m. And another one with a comedian who was probably looking at her phone the entire time. Go watch the video. And the other one, the next interview that I did this morning early. I'm up since 3:30 a.m., so it doesn't matter. But the other interview I did about an hour ago, it was 1 p.m. London time. I'll say that. So there you go. I'm setting things up, man. I'm doing them early so I can let things go. And I'll get to another thing in a second. But anyway, I'll get back to Cartoon Network and this job, which I will not say the name of the company. And but at Cartoon Network, there was, I would say, a lot less, not expectations, but a lot less to be done. And they paid me on Christmas and New Year's. Whereas for this one, they're like, office is closed, you're not getting paid, baby. So these 2 weeks where I'm getting paid, for the first couple of weeks, I'm getting money, and then this next couple of weeks, I'm like, this much money. Oh my goodness. But here we are in the throes of, no, not in the throes, it's the start of 2026. I do, every single year I set up goals for myself. Oh God, I don't know the password. Oh my goodness. There's an app I use called Notability, and on the Mac, I use it on the iPad because you can write on it. I can use the Apple Pencil and write on it and things like that, and put things in sections, and it's great. On the Mac, it's the same app, except you can't write on it unless you use the mouse. But it doesn't have face unlock, whereas the iPad has face unlock. And I only lock 2 of the folders in Notability. So if anyone wants to murder me and get access to signatures or self-improvement, where the fuck is this thing? I'm playing it loose today, man. Finished an interview with a comedian, and I'm about to start work. That's how early in the morning it is. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not that early. Again, I came back from the gym and I still had time to stretch and make breakfast and eat breakfast and shower and then prepare for this interview. So it's not that early, but I do want to, if in case my bosses are listening, I have to make a whole show of it. Every year I make a goal list. I've been doing this for the past 5 years. I make a little goal list, not New Year's resolutions, because if you call them resolutions, I feel as though people make excuses and want them to not finish, to not do your resolutions. So for goals, personal goals are great just to set up, because you can have any version of milestones that you want within your life. So I have goals like every single year I have this more or less similar goals or the same goals to what was featured last year. And if they're numbered goals, things that I'm counting in quantity, then I try to increase the number, not by much, but I just try to increase the number. It's like some of them include read 20 books, beat 20 games, not play 20 games, beat 20 games. I'm going to play 100 games, 100 video games, but I'm not going to beat 100 video games. Last year, how many games did I beat? Let's see. This is a lot of work, but I do track pretty much everything I do, mostly so I can't be blamed for murder. Last year, I beat 18 games. A lot of them are Call of Duty. There were 4 Call of Duty games. It was Call of Duty Black Ops 6, if you care, Black Ops 7, Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3. I also beat Clair Obscur Expedition, the new Gears of War Reloaded, the remake of the first game. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, even though it's whatever game I beat that year. So if I was reading a book, well, hold on. The books count for the previous year, but the games don't, because it takes a lot of time and effort. Anyway, Mortal Kombat 1, I beat that like December 29th or something. This is one of my favorite games of all time. It did take me 5 years to beat it. Persona 5 Royal, because I put things down. I put things down often. Actually, no, it took me 4 years to beat it. Doesn't matter. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the DLC, the Indigo Disc, the Hidden Treasure of the Teal Mask, whatever. I don't know. The Crown Tundra and the Isle of Armor, Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. And Uncharted, The Lost Legacy, a spinoff of Uncharted. Anyway, so other things like that. So there's things like that. And then, so I beat 18 games. I believe let me check out whatever it was last year. I think it was like 10 games. I don't know. Let me look. It was beat 10 games. Yes. And I beat 18, which is good. So I try to improve on that. Last year I said read 20 books. I did not get to 20. I got to 17. I got to 17. 2 of them were comic books. But this year it's read 20 books again. Just see if I can get to that. I've already started. Last year I did put off starting reading until February because I was just so tired of reading. But now I'm in it. I started a new book. It is called, and I was listening to it this morning at the gym as I was sitting on the Rogue Echo bike. I was doing a nice little cool down, just a nice full body cool down, listening to this book, The Breakdown by B.A. Paris, because I do like B.A. Paris. Anyway, speaking of working out things, goals for that include some rowing goals, some cycling goals, some running and walking goals. I combined those two because they're combined on Strava, I believe. And then a total tonnage of minutes in Peloton. Last year, I believe I got up to... my goal was to beat 20,000 minutes in Peloton, which I get to every single year. But last year, I got to 26,000, mostly because they included Garmin integration in there. So halfway through the year, so I got an extra 8,000 minutes in Peloton because of the gym time I do, the outdoor stuff I do, running and walking with Maverick, which is all that. Like truly, I don't think I ran or walked without him last year, and this year is not going to be any different. And then other stuff, that's counted. Cardio and stretching. I do a lot of stretching. And then, I have some travel stuff. And then some of these are carryovers from the previous year, including build a piece of furniture, like from scratch. I cook a lot from scratch. Why not build something from scratch? What the hell was that? Let's see. Motorcycle license. Then there's one I added yesterday. Write one script a month, and be it a movie script, which is possible. You could write a movie. It's not going to be good, but you can write a movie script over the course of a month. And then let's see what else. It could be a sketch script. I would hope it's more than one, but I think last year I wrote a total of I don't even want to put a number to it, but maybe like 2 things. And if that, I love golf. I like going to the driving range. So I wrote down, go to the driving range twice a month. Last year, I instituted rowing and Pilates into my workout. And I did Pilates roughly, this is roughly twice a week. I think for a total of 53 total classes. That might be wrong. It might be less because I think that's the total of Pilates I've done. And I went back on Strava and Garmin to see how many Pilates classes I did. And I think, because there's also yoga plus Pilates. Okay. So I think I did roughly 40-ish yoga classes. So that's not twice a week, but it's more than enough. And then rowing, I wanted to do rowing twice a week. I'm still trying to find a rower. Yesterday, a couple of days ago, today's Wednesday. On Monday night, going into Tuesday morning, a woman posted a Concept 2 rower for $290. Concept 2 rowers are the pinnacle of rowers because they're so simple and there's not a lot of moving parts. And the interface is very simple. And because of that, you can, and because of Bluetooth and everything, you can use it with a lot of different programs. It's the same reason I got my bike back there, the Schwinn IC4. And it's the same reason I have my treadmill, the Soul F63. I don't want to be stuck into one. I love Peloton again, but if they fail in 5 years, which I do, I don't want to get into this. Maybe I will one day. Maybe that'll be an episode. But I do not want to be stuck doing one thing. In the same way that I have a Mac and I have an Android and I have a Windows laptop that is old and I have an iPad, I want to be able to mess with everything. I love technology. Anyway. And she put it up at like 9 p.m. at night. No matter what time of day you put up a cheap Concept 2 rower, as long as you're not a bot, there's a lot of bots on Facebook Marketplace. People will want that. Unfortunately, the thing is, they resell because they're the pinnacle of rowing, and they're so easy to maintain and everything. They resell for, I could buy a Concept 2 rower now, and keep it, and then I could see a different one and be like, I want that one instead, and I could sell that Concept 2 rower that I have for I could buy it for $800 and sell it for $750, and nobody would bat an eye. Maybe even 700, but it's crazy. Like that's how good that thing is. Anyway, she put up for 290, and I was like, can I get this, please, please, please? I woke up on Tuesday and I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, it's sending her a message. Can I get this? Oh please, can I get it, please? And then she didn't respond, and then on Facebook Marketplace it says she's getting a lot of messages for this. Like, God, come on. And then she finally messaged me back. Like this morning, is like, I'm getting a lot of messages, and I will reach out accordingly. It's already scheduled for pickup. And I'm like, fuck, I wanted that. The only reason I want it for so cheap is A, to save me money, but B, I got that bike. The thing is, people aren't going to use these things. And I get it, and I understand sometimes people just don't like cycling, they don't like running, they don't like rowing, they don't like doing whatever. They buy things and they resell them. Same thing, like, hey, I don't like this MacBook. I pointed to my work Mac. Like, hey, I don't like this MacBook. I'm just gonna sell it, and I'm gonna buy a different computer or whatever. I'm somebody who's going to use it. But anyway, I got the bike for $200. I got the treadmill for $250, and I'm just trying to I'm trying to get lucky again and keep the things around. And then those are my goals. Those are my goals for personal, and then for business. I have business goals for C Plus Comedy, and then I have business goals for work. One is stay employed, which is why I'm constantly peering over at my laptop. But but on top of the personal thing, I think it's also important to have some business goal, business oriented. And in mentioning that, I also think it's important to, we live in this world where people think that being an influencer is the thing that they should do for work. And content is the goal, and that's it. And hustle, grind, and all that. And I don't believe in that. Obviously, I've been doing this for, now we're in year 13. In August, it'll be 13 years. And I understand that C Plus Comedy is not successful not because I have a lack of chutzpah when it comes to doing whatever it is I do on this platform, but because of my unwillingness to follow along with trends and do what other people are doing, people who are less skilled than I am when it comes to doing the same thing. I've existed longer than the C Plus Comedies existed longer than any of your favorite podcasts, quite frankly. I'm even longer than some of my favorite podcasts, with the exception of Never Not Funny, which is the longest running podcast, and one of the first podcasts. And yes, they can make, they're decent chunk of change, because again, podcasting is not, you don't make a lot of money from podcasting. You don't make a lot of money for TV anymore. You don't make a lot of money for movies anymore. But I am now going to make more of an effort when it comes to, and for this is not, C Plus Comedy is not about making money. It's truly just about honing my skills so that one day when I am hired to do this, then I can go, hey, I've got X amount of years, a backlog worth of work and talent when it comes to this. So I don't want to make content. I don't want to hustle, grind, any of that bullshit, because C Plus Comedy is the thing it's supposed to be. That being said, I do set up business goals. I'm rebooting News Time, which is, if you don't know what News Time is, actually, I think for the entirety of this podcast, News Time has never existed. News Time is, it is just a long form, one story about, whatever like if I have a podcast topic here, if I talk about Peloton's business acumen, then I will do that. You know, these people on it's a video essay. It's a last week tonight and that. I was doing that shit first. I was me. But that's what it is. So I have that in the works. Yesterday was Tuesday. Monday, I wrote down something that I thought was very important because I heard it. I heard a comedian, a comedy person mention that they send out. They have a successful show, so they send out what they call a PDF one sheet, and I immediately knew what that was, and I thought PDF one sheet, I should make that for C Plus Comedy when I'm asking about interviews. So particularly a PDF one sheet is just basically a pitch. God damn it. Stop it. It's basically just a pitch sheet telling whomever I'm emailing what C Plus Comedy is. So now I've in the past, couple of years, I basically send the same email, but now I've been dressing up that email. And because I have more famous people that I've spoken to, I can now point to, hey, here's Tiffany Haddish. Hey, here's Christian Finnegan. Here's Jen Kirkman, even though I spoke to Jen Kirkman 10 years ago at this point. But now I have this one sheet. And actually, I wonder if I can pop it up here on the video. So if you're watching the video, you know what? I can't. Because I realize it is a PDF, and I don't think. Maybe we'll see. Hold on. So I've titled it C Plus Comedy Interview Pitch Sheet. Let's see. It's got Notion and Notability. I'm on OBS. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I can pop it up. All right, here we go. And it's a very simple sheet. I actually made. I pay for Adobe Creative Cloud. And they have Adobe Express, which is a very simple place to make thumbnails for YouTube channels, social posts, and resume stuff and all this and all this junk. It's a little AI heavy, but anyway, I didn't use that. I chose a template from something, and then I created this pitch sheet, and it's just very, very simple. So if you're watching the video, you can see it says C Plus Comedy. Established 2013, and it's you can click through the links right there. I have interviews, podcasts, and more. Then I have website, YouTube, the interviews, and then the sheet is a short description. Chad White talks to the greatest minds in the entertainment industry about their projects. Show description, because I start with the interviews. I should start with the constitutions, but I start with the interviews because that's what they are. That's what I'm trying to sell. Is hey. This is where they will be. This is the main thing. It's called the interviews. I'm trying to buoy the video as opposed to just an audio only thing. So I have show description. The interviews is a free-flowing video chat where the guest is able to talk about their work, then what's coming down the pipe, anything else that they like. Audio featured interviews posted on the Constitutionals podcast feed, which is an entertainment business driven podcast. Boom. Easy enough. Then I move on to the past guests, and I mention people like I'll say this: I start with the most famous up first, and then I take everybody else who is not less famous. I take everybody else and I sprinkle out the other super famous people throughout. So I have Craig Ferguson, Janelle James, Stephanie Sue, Larry the Cable Guy, Tiffany Haddish, Tony Shalhoub, Joel Kim Booster, Josh Gondelman, Jane Seymour, Cheech Marin. I've spoken to all those people. So that's what I had those as a past guest. It was not hard to choose all the people who were super famous and then like just to spread them out within that thing. It's very funny because I'm looking through names to choose for past guests, and I go, oh, Jimmy Pardo, that's an easy one, and I'm like, oh, should I choose this person? Well, I know them from this. So no. I think it's very funny. And then I have a timeline of the podcast. There's an audio release and a video release, and obviously you know that I do 2 releases. So there you go. So hopefully, and I'll say, and this is very interesting. Yesterday I sat down and I looked at what's coming out, what's happening on Netflix, and I reached out to several publicists at Netflix for specific projects, and while I did not get a yes on any of them, I did get a response from a couple of them, and they were not canned and they were very kind, which is great. Hey, Chad, Marcelo Hernandez is busy, obviously, because his special is coming out like today and SNL starts next week. So obviously he's busy. I should have done this a month ago. But the fact that his person for this, for his special got back to me, I think really helped because I linked to the Tiffany Haddish interview. She's obviously the most famous person right now at this point that I've spoken to in this current point in culture. So I linked to that in the email, and I say, hey, I've also attached the PDF one sheet, the pitch sheet, whatever, for your reference. Boom. I keep it nice and short, the emails. Hey, this is Chad from C Plus Comedy. And then the next paragraph, I'd like to talk to blah, blah, blah. Then the next paragraph after that, I've spoken to blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I've done this. Here's Tiffany Haddish. I've attached this for your reference. Please let me know if whomever has time. And it worked. It works because you get the response versus where I've emailed Netflix before, and it's been a no thank you or a ignore. Okay. And then, and then I also have just a number of interviews I would like to get to. And it's tough. It's difficult to gauge how many you get, because sometimes, last year I was rolling in interviews, and I could get a lot in a short amount of time, versus the year prior to that it was, touch and go. So it's difficult for people to, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But now that I'm the website is back up and I have this pitch sheet, I'm hoping that more people say yes. And also, I'm just really fucking good at what I do. This is very douchey, but it works for me. When I'm in the gym and I'm doing something different, because I do a lot of Olympic lifts. I box. And and I've been at the same gym for 9 years. I see the same people go into the gym and they squat, they bench press, they curl, and that's great. But I switch it up. I do everything different. So, that's all I want to do is just be different, switching around. Oh, I just got my phone bill. Let's see how much that costs. $71.79. This is what happens when you buy a phone and then you finance it. What's going on? Oh. True. We got an email from Logitech talking about issues with Mac OS. Yeah. I've had these issues for years. About 4. Oh, and this has really helped me. This is truly, and I'm not kidding, and I'll end it on this. This has really, really helped me. 2 weeks ago, no, last week, it doesn't fucking matter. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, I purchased a under desk basket thing, because this is a standing desk. I purchased an under desk basket thing for all the cables and peripherals and all that stuff that were usually just hanging off the standing desk. And when the desk stands, before, all the cables and everything would hang down, but now it's all neat inside this basket. And that's really been helpful for my productivity. I'm not joking when it comes to whenever I'm at the desk working on interviews and whatnot. It's been fantastic, and I think that was a really cool thing. And so just fix up wherever you are, and it could help. I think that's just if you want to be better at cooking, then get some staples, get some very easy things to cook, get some tools that everybody should have, like a spatula in the kitchen, and learn how to start doing easy stuff, and then work your way up to the hard stuff. And the same way here is, just fix up the space around you, and maybe things will be better or easier. Ideas will come to you more. Whatever, doesn't matter. Those are the goals. Listen, hopefully it's we are very productive and successful, and we continue, and by we I mean I, and we continue this upward trajectory. Not just this year, but beyond. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to a bunch of celebrities. If you want to see a video version of this show, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can see a video version of the other shows. Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and the Constitutionals podcast, the Entertainment Business podcast. Video versions, youtube.com/cpluscomedy. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. The interviews as well. Check that out. Follow us on social media at cpluscomedy on TikTok, Blue Sky, and Instagram. And YouTube. Me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.